Here's the deal, real quick, about the co-host. So there's now 4 co's on Matt. Matt can be a total tool for 1 hour and 57 minutes and 30 seconds, and then he says one. It's like golf. You can play crap.
That
golf.
One shot brings you back the next
on the
time.
18th. Isn't it always on the 18th?
I'm always clutch.
It's not on the 3rd hole. It's the 18th.
He's always clutch, he says.
I'm clutch.
You're also very humble. I love that. Your humility is very attractive.
Well, I have pants on, so it's easier to be humble with.
Wow.
All right, so I got a text message. I'm supposed to ask you how you died on General Hospital.
How I died. You want the PC answer or the real answer?
Well, I'd rather stay on the air. So.
Oh, okay. So I took a bunch of people hostage. I was a cop. I played you know who Serpico was?
Yeah.
They based my character.
I didn't see the movie, but yeah, I knew.
Well, they based my character on Serpico. I was a good cop for 2.5 years, and then finally I was time to leave the show, and I ended up beating up these people, these strippers, and taking them hostage. I took everybody hostage for 11 episodes, and then I had a gunfight with technically the guy who actually took my job, funny enough, and he shot me. I was like, well, that's in the stars. So I got shot, but apparently as they zipped up the body bag, I blinked because I was like, it was weird, and they were like, he blinked. All the fans were like, he blinked. He's not dead. So that's what happened.
Well, thank you for the segue. So I wanted to ask you, Caleb, and we can talk, about actors as well. It's come out like in Tennessee, where the quarterback said, I'm not here to help the rookie take my job.
Yeah.
You just said this is a guy that's eventually taking your job. And I remember in the locker room talking to you guys, that you're a close-knit, blah, blah, blah. But the guy at the locker room next to you is trying to take your job.
100%. And it's a weird dynamic because you understand very well every year you get older, that at some point they're going to draft somebody in your position and he's coming for your job. But when I got to Tampa Bay, I had really great veterans who took me under their wing and taught me everything. And one day I asked them, Evan Smith and DeMar Dotson. And then I asked him, I was like, hey, you guys would be I didn't think you guys would be this nice, they drafted me and blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, hey, man, if I get hurt, you have to play. He's like, I don't want to win games. So he's like, I want you to be the best you can be. I want you to be better. But on the flip side, I understand where Ryan Tannehill was coming from, whereas offensive line, we're very dependent on each other. 5 guys are playing, we need to work as one. Quarterback, it's a little different. A little bit more ego, a little bit more divish.
That's why Matt wants to be the quarterback.
He's making $30-something million a year, and they draft a guy in the 2nd round. He's like, I'm not giving up making $30 million. So I see both sides.
And Malik is a very different quarterback than him, too, right?
Exactly.
So it's really interesting. I thought Tomlin was going to take him.
Yeah.
That was pretty
he loses his biggest weapon, right? He loses his biggest weapon, and they draft a running quarterback. So now what's the best aspect of the game? It's the run game. Derrick Henry, Malik, they have a really good dynamic backfield as far as running the ball goes, and not so much down the field with the air ball. So I understand the insecurities he's feeling, and I honestly had no problem with it. He's right. It's not his job to coach anybody up. And if somebody does take it under the wing, it's an honor, but it's not required.
It's not their responsibility.
So give me your side of an actor. You said here's a guy that was basically coming for your job.
Well, specifically in that situation there was another soap opera called One Life to Live, and it went off the air as I was on the show, and there was this wonderful actor, Michael Easton, who he was playing a cop on this other show, and the executive producer had come over just before he did, and basically, it's corporate, man, I understand, but it's okay. It's a little different, I think, for us, because when you're an athlete, you don't have a long time as it is. I mean, most people last 2-4 years, maybe, whatever. As an actor, you try to get another shot. So it's not exactly the same. He didn't come in going, I'm going to act better than you. It wasn't like that. I just knew that we both couldn't play the same role, and it was cool.
How difficult was it to play a dead body?
Well, have you seen my acting? It's pretty. That's how I mostly come across.
I watch Friends a lot, and Joey, was always playing dead bodies.
Joey Tribbiani set my people back 50 years. I hate that. I hate it. He made the Italian people look stupid, so forget it. I don't watch this show.
Who's the comedian?
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Menacasco.
I saw him at the Strass a couple years ago.
Sebastian. He's funny.
He's hilarious.
He's funny. Yeah, and and most of that is very accurate.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So I'm surprised that I've taken an hour and 45 minutes to bring up that you have acted with Adrian.
Yeah, Talia Shire. Yeah.
Well, Adrian to me.
Okay, Adrian. So yeah, she is amazing. You know, it was really interesting. I was on set with her. I got cast to play her son, and we had 50.
Would that be
scenes.
Rocky Jr.?
No, she did other movies. I know. It was actually, it was funny. It was called Pizza with Bullets, and she was my mother. And Vinney Pastore, who played Big Puss on The Sopranos, he was my dad. And so we had so many scenes together, and it was amazing. And she became a real friend. I mean, I've spent time at her house, and she's made me dinner. I just went over, just her and I talking all night, and she's a very special person.
Did you go to her gravesite?
I did go to her gravesite.
Yeah, you went to the gravesite.
Did you know that she has a gravesite in Philadelphia?
No, because she's alive.
Right. Well, Adrian's not.
I was so confused just now.
I thought he was trying to trick me.
No. There's a gravesite for Adrian and Paulie in Philadelphia.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was part of one of the scenes, and we went, to the
And
cemetery.
they kept it there?
And it's creepy.
I just directed a movie called Mob Sense in Philadelphia last year, so it's coming together now. And we shot at the Rocky statue. We did all the Philadelphia stuff in the movie. So.
All right, that movie I'll go watch because it's all Philadelphia related.
Yeah, it's really. It used to be called Brotherly Love, but they changed it to Mob Sense. So, and I directed it. I've got a part. A very funny character. I play this gangster who's actually gay, and he comes out to his brother, and they're going to kill him. And he's like, "Don't tell anybody. We're going to get whacked," And he's just hardcore. It's very funny, beautiful stories.
We always do like Mount Rushmores of athletes, Mount Rushmores of this and that. Give me your Mount Rushmores of your jobs,
Acting.
or producing. Or
Well, I think my biggest one is turned out to be like a dad to me. It's Joe Mantegna. He's my, he's like on top of the hill for me, and personally, professionally, everything. So Joe, but obviously I grew up loving Dinero and Pacino. Those guys were my idols, and I remember as a kid. I don't know if you remember the great independent film, The Pope of Greenwich Village. It was Mickey Rourke, Eric Roberts, back in the '80s. One of the best films. You should see it. It's when Mickey Rourke still had his face. I don't know what happened.
Should surprise you not that I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's really, your credibility is. I hate to say that. Matt has a little more.
Wow. It's not just here, my friend. It's suspect all over his career.
No, it seems to me I'm getting nervous. I think I overstayed my welcome.
Well, you guys were talking about the people that were replacing you. While you're talking about job replacements and people try to take your jobs and like not coaching your replacements, I always take a photograph of how to like hook this board up so that way I can run this show. And when Randy moves aside,
Wow, so that's happening even here in the room.
I watched him as he's doing it.
Adrian, Paulie, and Randy.
You know what? Not to get too sappy, but I really believe, on a spiritual note, everybody's going to get what they have coming to them. So if this is supposed to be yours, it's yours. Work hard, do your best. You know what I mean? And then what's yours is yours, and what's not.
So are
is
you
not.
addressing that to me or to Matt? Because Matt doesn't do his
I'm
business.
I got a back.
I'm trying to make you feel better when Matt takes the job. I'm trying to give you a little spiritual advice.
All right, let's go hit our final break of the afternoon. Coming to you live from Tournament of Pizza. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Staff Son. We'll be right back.